The golden light of dawn spills over the African plains like molten fire, brushing the savanna in hues of amber and flame. Acacia trees stand like ancient sentinels across the horizon, their twisted limbs casting long shadows over a world built on instinct and power. In this kingdom of dust and blood, the lion reigns, not as a monarch crowned by ceremony, but as a warrior born into conflict. From the moment of birth, the lion's path is written not in peace, but in peril. Within a hidden den tucked beneath, the tangled roots of a thorn bush new life stirs. Tiny, trembling paws reach out to the warmth of their mother, eyes closed to the blazing world they've entered. 3 cubs, barely larger than house cats, breathe in the scent of fur and soil, blissfully unaware of the unforgiving rules of their realm. Their mother, a seasoned lioness with eyes etched by battle and belly scarred from years of survival, watches the landscape with practiced vigilance. She is one of the core females of a pride that has ruled this corner of the savannah for nearly a decade. In this matrilineal world, power flows through the lionesses. They are the hunters, the guardians, the architects of the future. But even they are not immune to the chaos that simmers beyond the grass. The cubs knead at her belly, their small, muzzles suckling at life. Yet outside the den, the air is heavy with menace. Far across the plain, 2 rogue males, young, powerful, and driven by fire, linger near the territory's edge. Driven by a hunger that goes beyond food, they seek dominion. These lions, once cast out from their own pride, have endured famine, wounds, and isolation. Now their muscles ripple with strength forged through suffering. They are no longer exiles. They are predators with purpose. One of the cubs lifts his head for the first time, tiny ears twitching to the distant sound of a lion's roar. It echoes, like thunder over the dry grass, a deep and resonant proclamation. It is their father's voice, a warning and a challenge. The dominant male of the pride, known as Kuru, is not yet old, but already time is marking his frame. His mane is full and shadowed with black, the kind that commands respect in the wild. But his eyes, those deep golden eyes, betray a knowing weariness. He senses the threat approaching. Lions are not born into peace. They are born into war. Kuru strides across the plain, each paw fall a declaration of ownership. He marks trees. With the acrid scent of power, claws bark into warning signs. These rituals are not mere behavior. They are the ancient language of survival. Every mark, every roar, is a reminder. I am still king. But kingship in the lion world is never guaranteed. It is borrowed time, paid for in blood. The lionesses, sensing the danger, alter their rhythm. Hunts grow shorter, more frequent. The cubs are relocated in the dead of night, their tiny bodies carried gently between the jaws of their mothers. The pride moves like ghosts under the moonlight, threading through the grasslands, silent but watchful. The ecosystem responds with its own orchestration. The wildebeest herds push farther south, chasing the scent of rain. Elephants trudge toward the marshes, their matriarchs leading with quiet certainty. Hyenas, ever opportunistic, laugh into the night as they sense instability. The balance of nature does not pause for the drama of lions, but it does shift with their rise and fall. 3 weeks pass. The cubs grow stronger, their legs more confident, their play turning to mock battles. They wrestle with each other in the dust, tiny roars piercing the morning calm. This play is not mere amusement, it is training. Every pounce, every bite, every tumble is a rehearsal for a life they do not yet understand. But survival has its own tempo, and it rarely slows. The rogue males make their move just after sunset. The air is heavy with heat and tension. Crickets sing their metallic chorus as darkness falls like a curtain over the land. The pride is resting in a clearing near the riverbank, bellies full from a recent hunt. Lions, confident in their domain, sleep deeply. But tonight, no one sleeps long. The first roar comes from the ridge, deep, commanding, unfamiliar. The lionesses rise instantly, muscles taut beneath their coats. Kuru answers with a roar of his own, louder, longer, but it lacks the crisp edge of youth. Then, from the darkness, two shadows emerge. The rogue males are in their prime. Their manes are thick, their eyes blazing with ambition. Without hesitation, they charge into the clearing, kicking up dust with every stride. Chaos erupts. Lionesses scatter with the cubs, hiding them deep within the bush. Kuru meets the challengers head-on. The clash is thunderous. Claws tear through fur, teeth snap with primal force. The night explodes with snarls, growls, and the brutal music of war. Kuru fights with the desperation of a king who knows his reign is fading. Blood stains the earth. One of the rogues goes down, but not for long. They are relentless. Youth and hunger overpower experience and pride. When the dust settles, Kuru limps away, his body broken, mane torn. He disappears into the shadows, his fate unknown. The rogues stand victorious beneath the starlight. Their roars now claim this land, and for the cubs, everything changes. The lionesses know what comes next. Infanticide is nature's cruel reset. New males will not tolerate the offspring of another. To cement their rule and bring the females back into estrus, they must eliminate the bloodlines of the past. It is the law of the lion. But these lionesses are not ready to surrender. They split the pride. Some submit, offering themselves to the new kings. Others flee, carrying the cubs into exile. Among them is the mother of the three, her heart heavy, her eyes sharp with resolve. She moves under cover of darkness, darting between gullies, evading hyenas, enduring thirst. The bond between mother and cub is forged through instinct, but also through fire. She has known loss before. She will not lose again. The savannah shifts as she moves. A land that once echoed with the pride's roars now falls quiet. The exiled mother raises her cubs in isolation, teaching them to listen, to read the wind, the shadows, the scent trails of danger. They learn not only to hunt, but to hide, not only to feed, but to flee. Months pass. The cubs grow lean and clever. Their eyes no longer blink wide at every movement. Their muscles respond with purpose. Play is now sparring. Curiosity is now caution. They are learning the world as orphans of power, born of royalty, but shaped by exile. And still, they are alive. Back in the Pride Lands, the new kings reign. They patrol with dominance, roar with impunity, and sire their own cubs. The lionesses adapt, as they always do, their resilience and unspoken legacy. But every so often, one of them lifts her gaze toward the horizon, toward the place where the wind carries the scent of the exiled. A memory stirs, a hope lingers. The cubs, now nearly a year old, begin hunting small prey. Hares, warthog piglets, even young impalas. It is not easy. Failure is frequent. But every failed attempt sharpens their skill. Every empty belly fuels their drive. And through it all, their mother watches, ever vigilant, ever silent, guiding them with patience and power. In the stillness of dusk, as the sun bleeds into the sky and the zebras gather at the waterhole, the three young lions sit atop a ridge, their silhouettes cut against the fire-lit sky. They are not cubs anymore. They are not yet kings. But inside them, a spark has grown into flame. They were born to fight. And their time is coming. The dry season returns with silent ferocity. Clouds retreat from the skies, leaving behind a scorched, bleached world. The rivers shrivel into narrow veins of mud, and the grass that once whispered green now stands brittle and gold. Dust rises with every footstep, clinging to fur, settling in every crevice. Across the savannah, thirst becomes the first test of survival, and for the exiled young lions it is a crucible. They are nearly 2 years old now, lankier than adults but already formidable in size and spirit. Their once soft faces have sharpened, eyes set deeper, muscles swelling under their coats. The tufts of mane beginning to grow along their necks are uneven, awkward, signs of adolescence, of nature preparing for war. Their mother walks ahead of them, leaner than she's ever been. Her coat is dulled, not from age, but from sacrifice. Every meal caught was first given to them. Every danger faced, she stood between it and her sons, and yet she walks with poise, a lioness not of defeat but of determination. They are nomads now, ghosts moving through the broken corridors of a kingdom that once belonged to them. In this exile, they learn the world without the protection of a pride. They stalk at twilight, moving between ridges and dried-out gullies. Impala herds scatter at their scent. Baboons bark warnings from treetops. Hyenas trail them with giggling menace, hoping for weakness. Every movement demands calculation. Every choice is a wager between hunger and harm. One night, they come across a decaying elephant carcass. Flesh still clinging to bones, the stench a foul perfume of opportunity. The wind carries the scent of rot and risk. The lions approach cautiously, ears pricked, eyes scanning. And then the shadows move. A clan of hyenas, 15 strong, erupts from the underbrush. The lions roar, but the hyenas laugh in response, their cackling voices bouncing off the acacia trees. Teeth flash, circles form. It's not a hunt, it's a siege. The young lions bare their teeth and lash out, their inexperience tempered only by raw will. For nearly 10 minutes, chaos reigns. One lion takes a bite to the shoulder, another is dragged by the tail, but eventually they force the hyenas back. The lions win, but victory tastes of blood and exhaustion. Their mother watches from the ridge, knowing such battles will only grow more frequent. She knows her role is nearly done, and still she remains, for a little longer, for a final chapter in their shared story. Weeks pass, the rains delay, hunger gnaws, and then one morning, as the sun breaks across a horizon cracked by drought, they find her. She is lying beneath a mopane tree, sides rising shallowly, eyes closed. Her breath is uneven. The wound on her belly, torn days earlier in a skirmish with a buffalo, has worsened. Infection has taken hold. Flies buzz in a cruel halo around her body. She opens her eyes slowly as the 3 sons approach. They nuzzle, her gently. She licks one of them weakly. The bond is unspoken, ancient, a mother's love in its final expression. They do not leave her side. Not that day, not the next. And then one morning she does not rise. The wind passes gently over her still, body lifting dust in a soft swirl. Her sons, now alone in the world, sit beside her for hours. There is no ceremony, no burial. But in their stillness there is mourning, and then they walk away. The plains stretch ahead, vast, harsh, unforgiving, but also full of promise. In this exile, the embers of their destiny have grown hot. They are no longer cubs, they are not yet kings, but now they are lions, and lions must walk into fire to find their place. The trio moves through neutral zones, keeping to the shadows of termite mounds and baobab trees. At night, they roar quietly. Short, testing calls that echo into the dark. They are announcing themselves not to claim land but to understand who owns it. Every roar they hear in return is a map of power. One night they approach the edge of another pride's territory. In the moonlight, the scent of lionesses floats on the breeze, faint but fresh. The males pause, their ears twitch, tails flick, slowly. In the distance, a roar, deep, older, dominant, rolls across the plain. A reigning coalition. 2 males experienced, deadly, ruling over a pride that numbers 10. The young lions retreat into the shadows. They are not yet ready, but they mark the land in their minds. This is a territory worth remembering. Days later, they encounter a lone buffalo calf separated from its herd. It is a brutal fight. One lion distracts from the front, while the other 2 flank. Hooves fly, dust clouds rise, blood spatters on the grass. But they bring it down. Their first kill without their mother. They eat in silence, each mouthful a step closer to independence, closer to manhood, closer to dominance. Their manes grow, thicker now. Their eyes have the look of hunters, not learners. They spar with each other in the mornings, teeth bared but never to harm. Their bond is a silent contract, written in survival, sealed in exile. But unity will be tested sooner than they expect. The trio approaches an abandoned waterhole drawn by the promise of shade and perhaps a lone antelope. But they are not alone. 2 other young males, also nomads, linger by the edge, drinking, resting, unaware. Strangers, threats. The meeting is instant tension, ears go back, tails flick high, shoulders lower. The growl begins low in the throat. 5 young lions, all with fire in their blood, all with scars on their bodies, face each other in a desert standoff. A roar cracks the air, then another. Dust rises, then violence. One lion lunges, and the savannah erupts. Claws rake across fur. Blood spills onto cracked earth. One of the outsiders tries to flee, only to be tackled by the largest of the trio. A brutal bite to the neck ends the battle. The survivor flees into the horizon. The trio stands panting, bloodied, victorious. But something has changed. One of the brothers limps away, injured. A deep gash marks his flank. The wound will heal, but the message is clear. The world will not let them rise gently. Only the strongest will endure. Time passes. The rains finally arrive, brief, glorious, soaking the earth in renewal. The plains turn green once more. Wildebeest return in endless lines. Zebras frolic. Birds call to one another over glistening water. Life pulses again, and the lions grow with it. They are now over 3 years old, mature, filled with purpose, and hungry for legacy. Their bodies are broad, their manes full, their movements confident. They no longer sneak through the grass. They stride, no longer nomads. They are contenders, and they remember the pride that was once theirs. The land where their mother first hid them in the roots, where Kuru roared against the twilight, where their bloodline began. The usurpers still reign there, but not for long. The trio begins their return, moving not with desperation, but with decision. Every step is a reclaiming, every scent mark a promise. They move in unison. Their roars no longer ask permission. They declare intent. They arrive under the cover of storm clouds. Lightning rips across the horizon. The air smells of ozone and rage. The pride males roar into the wind, sensing challenge, sensing fire. And from the shadows, 3 brothers rise. They were born into war, forged in exile, tempered in blood. Now they return, not as sons, not as survivors, but as warriors born to fight. The wind howls over the savannah like a warning. Dark clouds roll above the horizon, casting long shadows over a land haunted by old memories. The earth is wet beneath the paws of returning ghosts. 3 lions hardened by exile, scarred by battle, guided by blood. Each step they take sinks slightly into the damp soil, but nothing slows their stride. This is their birthland, the same stretch of earth where their mother raised them, where their father vanished into legend, where their kingdom was stolen while they were still too young to protect it. But now they have returned, not as cubs chased into the dark, but as roaring thunderclouds ready to strike. The territory ahead is ruled by 2 males, brothers by blood, conquerors by nature. Their reign has lasted 4 seasons. In that time they've sired cubs, killed rivals, and expanded their pride's reach. They are experienced, vicious, commanding, but they are aging. Their roars still echo, but not with the same sharpness. Their bodies are powerful, but slower, and the scent in the air tells them something has changed. It begins with silence. No lion roars openly into another's kingdom unless they intend to burn bridges. But the brothers from exile have grown bold. They roar as they move through the outer fringes of the Pride Land. Their calls shake the air, deep, long, confident. The dominant males respond, but their voices carry hesitation. Not fear, but caution. They've faced challengers before. Young, lions, loners, scattered coalitions. But this is different. This is personal. One evening, the challengers approached the Pride's old kopje, a towering outcrop of red stone and ancient trees. From here you can see the entire valley. The wind carries the scent of lionesses and cubs, fresh, close, and below, by the acacia grove, the kings appear. They are huge, dark-maned, shoulders scarred from years of war. Their eyes scan the ridge, locking with the younger lions above. No charge, no retreat, just a stare that cuts across the distance like a blade. The past meets the present. Power meets ambition. The storm breaks that night. Rain pours across the land. Thunder shakes the ground. Lightning flashes like battle cries from the sky. And beneath that fury, the lions move. The first confrontation erupts before dawn. No warning, no ritual. The younger coalition charges the heart of the Pride Land, their paws thundering over the soaked grass. Lionesses scatter. Cubs are hidden. The dominant males intercept them at the river bend. Roars split the air. The fight is a maelstrom, blurs of motion, teeth, and fury. One of the older males tackles a challenger into the water, jaws clamping down on his neck. Another slashes a younger lion across the muzzle, drawing blood. But the tide is turning. The returning brothers fight with purpose. Not just instinct, but memory. They strike not only to dominate, but to avenge. They fight for their mother, for their lost youth, for a throne denied. One of the old kings stumbles. The largest of the trio pounces, driving him to the ground. There's a snap of jaws, a muffled roar, then silence. The other male sees this and runs. He is not a coward, he is a survivor. But in this moment, the war is lost. The lionesses emerge from the brush cautiously. Their eyes search the new rulers. They recognize the scent, the bloodline. These are not strangers. They are kin. One of the lionesses steps forward, an old scar above her eye, the same lioness who once shared hunts with their mother. She sniffs the air, walks slowly to the tallest male, and lowers her head. The pride accepts the return of the exiled sons. A new chapter begins. But victory is not peace. Not. In a lion's world, the pride must be secured. The bloodline must be protected. The lionesses test their new rulers not through defiance but distance. They want to see if these males will hunt, patrol, fight, protect. Cubs that remain from the previous males are at risk, not because of cruelty, but because of nature's design. The new kings pace the boundaries daily. They mark the trees, patrol the riverbanks, chase off vultures and jackals. They are tireless. Each sunrise brings a new roar, a new declaration. This land is ours. And slowly, the pride settles. The lionesses begin to call. The bonds reform. Nights are filled with low rumbles and scent trails, with playfights and soft grooming. Life doesn't forget pain, but it finds a way to continue. Soon the lionesses enter estrus, and a new generation begins. The largest of the brothers mates first, his mane now thick, black along the shoulders, his eyes glowing amber in the moonlight. He stands watch over the lioness afterward, protective, silent. This is more than instinct. It is legacy. Over the next moon cycles, all three brothers sire cubs. Little bundles of life emerge under the rocks within the grass, tiny roars, clumsy paws, ears too big for their heads. The pride rejoices. The circle begins again. But beneath the peace, the fire never dies. Because in the world of lions, no crown is ever safe. One evening, while patrolling the western edge of the Pride Land, one of the kings hears something. A roar, distant, foreign. He pauses, tail stiff. Then another, two roars, young, bold, a new coalition. Somewhere beyond the thickets, two males prowl. They've scented lionesses, sensed the blood of cubs, and they want what all lions want, power. The king returns to the pride with urgency. 3-0. Brothers gather beneath the stars. They don't speak, but their movements say enough. Their patrols double. The lionesses grow alert. Every rustle in the grass, every change in the wind is noted. The challenge is coming, sooner or later. And so, they train. Not in the way humans understand, but in sharpened instincts in daily practice. They chase intruders with increased fury. They spar more often, their roars louder, lasting longer into the night. They are kings, now, but they were born to fight and they will fight again. The sun rises like fire on the Savannah. Golden beams stretch across the tall grasses, painting the land in molten hues. Birds call, zebras stir, and wildebeest begin their long daily migrations. Yet in the shadows of a low acacia grove, something lingers. Silence. Stillness. A pause before destiny stirs once more. The three kings stand side by side on the ridge, their silhouettes bold against the dawn. Their manes ripple in the breeze, their breath steady. Below them, the pride awakens. Cubs tumble between mothers. Lionesses stretch their tired limbs. It is a moment of peace. But peace, in a lion's world, is never permanent. The wind carries. More than the scent of prey this morning, it carries warning. Two young males, barely 3 years old, have crossed into the territory's outer fringes. Their roars are raw, still forming, but they are growing. These newcomers are lean, ambitious, fueled by the wildfires of youth. They do not know defeat. They do not yet carry the scars of survival. They are what the three brothers once were, and they are coming. The confrontation builds slowly. First come the tracks, fresh paw prints along the riverbank. Then the scents, musky, unmarked, deliberate. The older kings respond immediately. Patrols stretch wider. Rumbles roll through the dusk. The lionesses move the cubs deeper into the inner sanctums of the Pride Lands. This is the rhythm of war, a dance repeated across generations. For the three kings, age is setting in like cracks in stone. Their bodies are still powerful, but they tire more easily. Wounds take longer to heal. The endless nights of roaring and patrolling weigh heavier on the bones, yet their hearts remain unshaken. They are still lions, still warriors, still born to fight. The two young challengers grow bolder by the day. They approach closer with each passing night, calling into the darkness. Their voices carry arrogance, recklessness, hunger. They are testing the limits, not just of land, but of legacy. One evening, the first clash happens, not a full battle, but a warning. The eldest of the three kings intercepts them near the old termite mound. The two younger males posture, circling, growling low. The old king doesn't roar. He stares them down, tail flicking slowly, his presence alone a declaration. The challengers retreat, but not far. The next night they return, and this time they don't run. The battle explodes beneath a moonless sky. Roars tear through the grasslands like thunder. Claws scrape, teeth snap, bodies collide. The pride listens from afar, watchful, silent. This fight will determine not just who rules, but who survives. The two young males strike together, fast, coordinated, fierce. They outmaneuver the middle brother, driving him back toward the river. The eldest king joins the fray, charging with a bellow that shakes the reeds. Blood spatters across the grass. For minutes that stretch like hours, the night becomes a storm of snarls and fury. Then, a turning. The youngest of the three brothers, the fastest, lunges into the chaos. His jaws clamp onto the leg of one challenger, dragging him down. The other lashes out, slashing his shoulder open. The eldest king takes advantage, tackling him from the side. One of the challengers breaks and runs. His brother hesitates, but only for a moment. They vanish into the tall grass, their roars now distant, uncertain. Victory, but at a cost. The middle brother lies bleeding beneath a fever tree. His flanks rise and fall with labored breath. Deep gouges mark his side. The pride surrounds him, not in fear but reverence. They know what he's done. He has defended the bloodline. The lionesses lick his wounds. The cubs nuzzle beside him. And for the first time in days, silence returns. A different kind of silence, not of fear, of respect. Weeks pass. The rains return. The grasses rise tall and green again. The wound heals slowly. The middle brother no longer roams far. He watches the cubs, teaches the youngest males how to spar. His days of battle may be fading, but his role shifts. He becomes the guardian, the teacher, the legacy. The other two brothers hold the front lines now. Together they patrol the territory's edges, roaring into the night, declaring their reign to every ear that listens. Their manes glisten with dew at sunrise, their bodies still strong, their hearts still burning. But something else stirs within them, a new understanding, that even kings must one day fall. But what they leave behind, cubs who have watched them defend, lionesses who have trusted them to protect, memories etched into soil and stone, that lives on. One morning, the eldest king finds a lone cub staring across the plains. He approaches, slow and steady. The cub turns, wide-eyed, curious. Then he mimics the king's stance. Chest forward, tail up. A low, growly roar from a throat too small to frighten anything. The king chuckles, an ancient, rumbling sound. And for the first time in months, he doesn't feel tired. because he sees the future. Is small now, full of energy and wonder, but it's already learning what it means to be a lion, to fight, to fall, to rise. The three brothers rest beneath the baobab tree, side by side. Their bodies are scarred, weathered, proud. They have known hunger and defeat, exile and triumph. They have lost and gained more than most lions will ever know. And as they close their eyes under the warm sun, the pride rests around them. Safe, full, strong. For now, the circle holds, and far beyond the horizon, somewhere deep in the silence of the grasslands, a young roar rises, not yet powerful, but persistent. Because in this world of dust and blood, of thorns and thunder, every lion is born to fight. And so the legacy lives on, etched into claw marks on bark, into paw prints in wet soil, into the eyes of every cub that stands up after its first fall. In the lion's world, life and death are but verses of the same poem, and every roar, no matter how small, is a vow. To live, to fight, to reign,